Howdy, howdy, howdy. Well, we got a few people in here. Let's see. We got Joey here on the panel.
Good afternoon or evening. It's
Yeah.
evening.
Let's see. We got Ethan, John, Lynn, Michael, Ken, Legend, Dan. Yeah, we're getting some in here in the Mall Railroad Adventures. How y'all doing? All right, there's no guarantees. Tonight we got a storm here. Lightning pretty good. Power's flashed a couple of times already. And here's Jason. Let's see if we get a better view here. There you go.
Oh, wait, get a better view. Okay, wait, I fix myself.
Get the cameras moved around. Hey, Brad from down under. Hope y'all doing good down there. Starting to warm up a little bit here, so it's getting cooler for you guys down there.
I just dug myself out of what? See here, 8 to 12 yesterday, and added 5 more on today. Inches
Uh,
of snow.
well, my son, for whatever reason, decided he was going to go to Kansas City, Missouri for a week. Took the dog with him.
hmm Yeah, there was a nasty derailment
Yeah.
yesterday
Yeah, he
in
wound up
Kansas City.
leaving early. He saw that storm coming in there. I told him, yeah, you better get it back down this way.
Yep.
It's like, no, thank you. I don't blame him.
What derailment was that?
It was at the Santa Fe Junction.
You said a
It's
broken
all,
rail, right?
huh?
You said it was a broken rail, right?
It might be a broken rail. It might be broken switch. You never know.
Yeah.
It was empty center beam flat cars that hopped off. Found out what locomotives are on the front end of it.
What were those?
Union Pacific.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, just what they need.
I know. Another derailment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn said like he didn't take out the overhead track.
Yeah. It was lucky. It was trying. As far as I know of it, it was still in service today.
That was fast. No, well, that track is a main artery out there, so they they they
Yeah.
they kind of need that track.
Well, last time there was a derailment there, it was on the overhead track.
That's right. Last year or the year before, I think it was
Yeah.
2020.
Well, Dwight just popped in. He says popcorn's ready.
Yeah, I just had dinner. And
I'll be right back.
I still got some Cheez Its I can gnaw on too.
Yeah, Lynn said that he saw the video today. It said a pretty good dent in one of the uprights.
Yeah. It was scary, all right. The funny thing is they had one of them front end loaders uh, over. There's a on the inside of that track. There was like a parking area he was clearing off. He kept on going. Didn't even phase him when it was going on. But I think they had pretty much cleared out last night.
Just one car.
There was about 3 that hit the ground.
Yeah, gnarly.
And then, let's see here. Yeah, 3 of the center beams and 1 tank car behind it. So it was ended up 4 of them. Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah, Wigwag just popped in. Lynn said there's a derailment out there by him last week on the
Tehachapi.
Tehachapi. Almost same thing as BNSF.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you would think after a few derailments.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But I mean, I don't know like the business part of it, but
yeah.
we are hiring a lot of new guys, and there are a lot of guys on the extra board, and it's a mess. I'm not going to get into it, but a lot of it has to do with just a lot of inexperience at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if did you hear about it, Johnny? Andrew, up north of me, the one that he does like a lot of the modules. He passed away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he passed away the 1st.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. He was the one that had that big long bridge module.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, Andy Manusco.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I remember him.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, what I read was he had cancer.
Yeah, he had same thing my dad had.
Mm-hmm.
As unsurvivable. And he last time he's on here was a couple of months ago. He said he's also having some bad sciatic nerve problems too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like to have seen that octagon if you had a chance to finish it, but
I know. That would have been neat.
yeah. He did a real good job on that bridge.
Yeah. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, that thing was big. It was long.
Mm-hmm.
You see in the videos when he's showing it at his house.
Yeah.
It looked pretty long, but then when we saw it out there at the show, they brought it out to the
Kansas City one.
Yeah, it set up one of the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Let him set it up in there. layout. Yeah, that thing was huge. Yeah. It was tall too.
I didn't get to go that year.
Yeah.
You guys gave me flack about it,
Mm.
but the way it looks is for sure I'm going to go for all the days for the RPM this year. Possibly maybe 2 days of nationals.
Where's RPM at?
Collinsville.
What, Indiana?
No. Collinsville, Illinois.
Huh.
Down by St. Louis.
Hmm.
It's the St. Louis RPM. The one that me and the Bob goes to last year. We were trying to see if you was going to be coming up, but you had something going on, Johnny,
Yeah.
because you was thinking about coming up.
Yeah. But I got where I don't go to any shows if they sit there and ask you if you've been vaccinated or tell you got to wear a mask and all that. I just say no, not worth it.
Yeah. Thing is we wasn't
Huh?
asking about mask.
I said I don't go anywhere now
Yeah.
if they require you got to have a mask.
Yeah. Well, they wasn't asking
Yeah.
last year, but the big talk is I think the day after the show that St. Louis was going back to mask mandate.
Yeah. We don't do much of that around here.
Yeah. I just gotta obey by what our government tells me, and then I just do what I can do.
Nah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Talk about that.
I know.
Too many people get too touchy about it.
They do.
Yeah. So I've been hard at work on revamping the entire layout again. I think I'm good now. I said this before, but after transitioning back to the 1950s, I got just about half the layout's main line up 4 inches elevated, and all I've been using is styrofoam, and I think it's like 1 inch 4x8 with $17, which isn't too bad. And that's all they had, and of course, good ventilation. I I couldn't find my foam cutter, so I used my old soldering iron, the needle nose, and I actually carved rock out of it, the foam on the sides. So I mean, it had a fan on, it had the windows open. So I mean, that stuff's pretty toxic stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I had, and there's a couple of points I actually had a mask on, so I have a construction mask because that stuff is pretty dangerous. So I've been doing that. Right now I got all the way up to here, and with the winter scene, maybe in a little bit I'll show you the progress. I already started laying the track, and so it's coming along. I already started coloring the rocks on the side of the foam, and it really looks good. It was like Bob Ross says, a happy little accident, and I didn't think a soldering iron would actually work, but it works really well. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. And right now I'm just weathering one of my new box cars that I got here. A new old box car. And I don't think I showed Johnny this stuff, but I think the viewers will like it. Trains magazine came out in 19, I believe 1940. So this is just, I think, right after World War II. I have 19. I have the trains issues from January 1946 all the way through December 1947, and they are absolutely fascinating. And if you can find them online, I totally recommend it, especially if you're modeling the 40s and the 50s. You could just see all the these are the actual articles. I mean, it's not like classic trains where they write about the past. This is what's going on in the present time. And I mean, see here, if you're a Pennsylvania Railroad fan, definitely get your hands on. They're out there. They're going eBay and a few other places. This is the April 1946 of the centennial year for Pennsylvania Railroad, and it's the anniversary. So it just, and you can look at all the articles. I mean, of course, they're black and white, but if you want um, the true history of what was going on then, it's really fascinating if you guys get your hands on a lot of these older magazines, even if from the 80s or the 70s, and it's to me it's the best kind of research you could get, and they had the uh, original advertisings for the passenger trains, and they have the Great Northern. I think I have found here. Well, Jason and I were discussing what the Pioneer Zephyr that one night, and the Burlington Zephyr. They
Yeah.
had like the original Frisco. So we're researching, and actually they even have rosters, full rosters of like the Great Northern in here, Tennessee Central, and back in the time, Pennsylvania Railroad's roster. So if you guys can find and do some research and actually find this, I totally buy it. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't expensive. I'm telling you, it was not expensive. You could find some discounts out there, even to get one at a time, or go, hey, I'm modeling 1948. Find the trans magazines from a couple of the months in that year to see what was really going on, and then you can use that as your source for your prototype.
Yep.
I ain't open 1947 yet. But I'm sure it's
Yep.
pretty interesting as well. And I have a good friend of mine is actually a conductor with me. He's a good photographer, but he gave me Kansas City Southern's 2022 calendar. And there's a few
That,
folks that we know. I'm sure there's a couple of guys on here right now that are probably in here. I'll find his picture. I think it's February. Yeah. Is it February? What's his name? There it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my buddy's shot right there. So it's a nice it's a really, really nice. They did a really nice job with the calendar. I like it.
yeah. Norfolk Southern used to do one. I think BNSF had one for sure.
Yeah, a friend of mine gave me a Union Pacific one from last year, which took really nice shots. I have the from like 3-4 years ago. The Norfolk Southern one. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
You never would think, actually, folks. There are guys out there who really collect the calendars.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Norfolk Southern, I think it was the employees that shot the photos.
Yeah,
When they were like tied down or something, they would go out and take a shot or something like that and try to send it into the company.
yeah. They and they. I mean, I don't think they have their. Somebody was telling me they have their own photographers that goes out on the days off. They're mostly employee based. They don't
Yeah.
get extra pay or anything. They just go out, but they choose guys that they actually want the photos taken, and they go out there.
Hmm.
Kind of like the railroad I worked for. They asked me to do their calendar, so uh, so it works like that too.
Yeah.
What are you going to seal that dust with?
I'm going to breathe it in. I really do. I'll start sneezing and then I wipe my nose, not to get gross, and it's like just black and brown and red, and it's like, what the heck? Oh yeah, weathering powders.
Well, what do you use to seal them?
Oh, I use Tesla's Dull Coat once in a blue moon. I do have some spare matte medium that I use. Sometimes I use a matte medium for the layer, the weathering powders, or the weathering process. And then the final sealer is the tester's Dull Coat.
You have a problem with it running when you put it on there?
Yes, I mean what I do is I use the matte medium the first thing matte medium I use that first before I even touch the weathering process. Spray
I
everything.
mean, when you go to seal your powders, do you have a problem with them running?
No, no. As long as you stay. This is the thing. Certain weathering powders they have their own personal adhesive, and so they'll stay for a long time. What I do is after I seal them with a matte medium or a dull coat, I go back and add another layer of weathering powder, very light coat, so it's like a sandwich, and it stays on longer. Eventually, it wears off. I mean, unless you seal it, like you seal it first, so at least the outer layer may come off, but the underneath layer will stay for a long, long time.
Yeah, Lynn McCurdy said that dull coat says go to.
Yeah. Now, if you're putting decals on, and we discussed this I think last week, if you're putting decals on, use a gloss finish. That's it's easier to slide the decals. Although otherwise it won't work. They will stick. But it's like when you're making an egg, egg over easy or medium, and you forgot to put some kind of grease or butter down. It just if it stays on there, it just doesn't slide. Or when you try to flip it over, or pancakes, same way. I guess you can tell I'm hungry, but that's like the concept I got to think of right now. And this is just a very simple, um, just a simple dusting of some white for the bottom to give a little bit of a fade along the truck area, like if it's ballast being kicked up. A little bit of black and gray, and then coat the whole thing with a brown. It's like a very, very neutral brown. I think it's called weathered brown powder. So so just a little bit of the and what I did first was the reason I was off camera, I had the mic off, I fade using acrylics. So I diluted a little bit of brown paint and with water, of course, and use just a sponge brush, and you just wipe it on. Now you can do as thick as you want, as light as you want. You can do it the lighter, the better. So you can add more coats until you get the amount of fade that you would like, and then you take a blow dryer and just blow it dry, and just layer upon layer upon layer until you have it to where you're satisfied, and then seal it automatically. And then I spray that, and then start the weathering process, the weathering powder process. And it depends on the model. It all depends on the model and what my client wants, what I want, to where I may do different kind of steps and different processes. It just all depends on the model and what it needs, pretty much.
Yeah, Wigwag was asking Lynn if he had any issues with the new formula of dull coat since Rust-Oleum took over testers. He said he's been having some issues with it.
Yeah, and I went to Hobby Lobby not too long ago, and they had a couple of cans left of the testers, but it's really hard they're hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't like Rust-Oleum too much. I don't like Krylon either. I do prefer Rust-Oleum over Krylon. Rust-Oleum to me has, especially on the spray paints, they have they're they have a better, I guess, spray nozzle, what you put. I forgot the actual term, but it doesn't cake like Krylon does, in my opinion, in my experiences rather. So I do prefer the Rust-Oleum, and like and these are Krylons. These are the Hobbycraft paints, spray paints. These are good for just a solid coat. So for me, I have a prime color that I use, either white or gray, a light gray, and then I use these as a base coat. So I'm modeling the New York, not modeling, but I have a couple of F units that I'm going to be painting into the New York Central, and it's going to be the black with the white cigar band, I think it's called, a ribbon, and so just a simple black. That's it, And the same thing, I had my old Norfolk Southern engines that I use, and I don't have it here, I don't think.
All right, Leo, we'll catch you later. He's got a club meeting fixing to start.
So it's the same thing, just a solid black coat. And these little cans are good. The price is only $3.99. And what's good with Hobby Lobby, if you have a lot Hobby Lobby, is they have sometimes 20% off sales, 30% off. So I think I bought this in 3 paints for $7. And those 3 paints have lasted me 5 years before they finally went on me. So it's a great investment. And I've done a lot of weathering those 5 years.
Yeah, Wigwag said still says testers on the front label, but on the back is small letters that says Rust-Oleum.
Ah, that's cool. Well, I'll be right back. I have cornbread in the oven. I got to check it,
So what are you working on, Jason? You're muted.
Oh, another flat car load. Here, I'll
More
switch my
tractors.
camera. Yeah. See if I can switch my camera. Trying to learn this. There we go.
Yeah, that's what Label Son said. While he's out there in Missouri and all, he said he saw a car dealership, didn't have hardly any cars in the parking lots, but he go by tractor supply places and they were packed full of tractors.
Oh, yeah.
And equipment.
I have a question, John. Is there a way to flip the camera over, or you can't do this on the I don't know.
What do you mean flip it over?
So instead of facing me, face the other way. I haven't used StreamYard in a long time.
What camera are you using?
I have my phone. I'm using my phone.
I guess you have to do that in your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we'll just figure it out as we go along here. Hold on. I guess we'll just do selfie mode, but here's the progress that I'm working with. And this is layered, four layers of foam. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I laid the track first to see where I'm gonna put the foam. Then with paper and a little bit of tape, made a template, cut it. Then on the foam, cut four layers. Then after 2 layers glued, I screwed a screw down, and then I screw another screw down. Use weights on top, and now it was solid. So the next day after it dried, I was looking for my foam cutters, and I found my soldering iron. I was like, well, let's try this. This may work, may not, and it did. Again, good ventilation. You don't want to breathe that stuff in.
Yeah.
And started carving out the rocks here. So, and what's good is it melts it. So you don't see all those little ball popcorn material inside it.
Yeah.
So here's one that I just finished as far as just carving. And the same thing. So next step is to start coloring it. These are nowhere near colored. I use just simple gray and browns, um, diluted. It's the same thing that you get with Woodland Scenics. And you get, again, the paints I have are Anita's acrylics, $3 a bottle, compared to Woodland Scenics prices, which are like what, $10, $15, depending where you go, I guess. Um, and they're good. Don't get me wrong. I got a few of them, so I use them on certain scenery, um, on certain scenery material. But this is, this is going to be covered in snow. There's a whole winter scene, and it and it really goes all the way around. So as you can see here,
Yeah.
so I got a bridge scene going. Those are the F units I got to paint, but all of this is going to be there's going to be icicles and snow and all that. But this is just the base, and going to be the finishing, the coloring. I got like another probably like 5, 6 coats because I really used the paint. If I really diluted the paint, and so the next step is, oh, there we go. The next step is to, with cardboard and the old paper mache techniques with the screen or paper, make the mountainside. Go right. Actually, here would be a nice rock wall right here, and then all along here, make sure will be from the ceiling, almost the ceiling down, will be just trees, snow covered trees. Track would be snow covered for the most part, not just the ties, not up to the rail. Um, just really the ties would be covered, um, and obviously all the different kind of winter techniques. So that is the plan for this, and this is like a big diorama, but the main line goes out of the layout, comes through here, goes out here, and goes back into the layout. And I'm not going to show you the layout inside right now because it looks like a tornado went through it. So this is actually the neatest of everything else because I ripped up all the track. So, but yeah, that's the progress right now that I'm working with here. And obviously, fascia board, particle board. This will be painted, most likely painted black. The tunnel right here will be more of a snow shed, kind of like down a pass. We'll have a snow shed and snow covered trees, and go back into a tunnel. There's a trestle, obviously, be a trestle scene. It'll be, the gorge will be a lot deeper than what I have over here, but that's the progress for now. And these lights are, you get them on $11. You get them either Walmart, Lowe's, stuff like that, places like that. And I just extended the wires here. Let's see. And so extended it from one and daisy chained them together to the next light all the way around. I think the entire layout's going to have about 8 lights total, 9 lights. So, and they're very inexpensive. I buy maybe 2 a month. It doesn't break the bank. And they do the daylight. That's the difference. They're daylight. And the more of you have a daylight light fixture, the better it looks on your models. You can tell because this light right here that I'm using, just to what you can see, it's yellow, or and it has a yellowish glow, and that doesn't work because that's not what. And then when you're trying to paint or do some scenery work, your coloring is different. It's just like if you're painting a bedroom or a living room in your house. It depends on your light fixture. You always go by natural light, the best as possible. That's what's going to determine your colors on your walls or your backdrops or your layout itself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you putting that foam together, you ought to try what Andy would used to use, and that was that gripper paint.
Yes, and I think it's that or gesso, Gesso. I don't know how you say that. I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a texture paint, and so oh yeah, that's the other step. I paint after carving. I paint all that foam white to give it a coat and a base coat because obviously if you're going to dilute paint, it's going to seep and disappear right into the foam. So,
Yeah, but he used I think it's Benjamin Moore. It's called gripper paint. It's actually kind of adhesive paint. He found it worked real good for gluing styrofoam down.
right. Oops, did I lose you? I did. There you are. Oh yeah. And there was a bunch of estate sales on eBay going on for these old kind of box cars, and so all of them still have the old plastic wheels. I'm looking at them like, I'm not going to weather them right now. I'm going to convert them to metal wheels eventually.
Mall Railroad Adventure says foam is fun to work with.
Amen. I enjoy it. It really puts a smile on my face. It really relaxes. It's a good relaxation to me anyway.
Yeah, I got one of those. It's called a tippy for carbon foam.
It's amazing what you can do with it.
R-type knife. It comes with a few different shape wires. Then you buy more wires, shape it like you want it.
Oh yeah, that's what I had, and I can't find it.
Yeah, mine's over at John's house. Need to go over one of these days, get all my stuff.
Then you put your name on it. It says property of Mr. Johnny.
Yeah. Hey, Bill. He just popped in South Brooklyn.
Mr.
Send
Bill.
out here.
Oh, here's an example of a faded car. This is a scale trains hopper, and first I started with um, I needed acrylics, black flat paint, acrylic paint, diluted, and just layered it, and then I went to powders. The process took me, I don't know, 30 minutes. Took me longer to probably do weather the wheels than it did the actual car.
Yeah.
When you have a long train, you know, you're if you it, you had there are certain and actually I think Ken Patterson had a what's neat for Montevero hobbyists. I forgot what month of year it is, but he had something. Well, he had a segment where if you have a long train, right, you don't want to weather every single particular car. Now, if you want to do that, you can. But if you're just a roll by railroad with just main lines, you pick. You have your first 5 to 6 cars. You could be completely um, detailed weathered, where just go all out, and then the rest of the train, the middle of the train, you could have it where it's light weathering. And because when you do photography or the train's rolling past, especially when snakes like that, um, your eye is not really concentrated on each individual car. It's seeing the whole train at once. So now, if you're doing a switching layout or your layout has switching in it, and you want to super detail and weather each individual car, absolutely go for it. For me, I love doing it, so I will do all kinds of weathering for each individual piece of rolling stock that I own. But when like there are certain box cars and certain gondolas or tank cars that I'll just have just a simple weathering. Just it looks weathered, it looks good, good enough. Don't need to go all out and super detail them. But the last few cars of your train, that's because your eyes now concentrating on the last part of the train, especially if it has a caboose, your eyes fixed on that. Those last few cars also should be super weathered, detailed weathered anyway. And that's why just the middle of the train, you can have that blended in. It all blends together, especially if you have like 50 cars. And that's, it's an eye trick, and we know in model railroading, eye tricks are our best friend, especially we don't have a lot of space to work with.
Yes. South Brooklyn Bill just posted. Andy Manusco, March 10th, 1957, February 1, 2022, age 64, that passed away fighting cancer.
Definitely in a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, how you doing? He popped in too just a minute ago.
Ooh, the temperature dropped because it got colder in here.
Samurai says it's amazing how detailed you can make something just using an X-Acto knife and sandpaper.
Facts, man. Absolutely.
And he got on track and already derailing.
And well, they're just sitting there right now. Cause they got a. All right.
Wow. Woo. Temperature dropped. It's about 15 degrees outside now. And it's like, I don't know, 40 in here, even with the fire going. My fire didn't get
Yep.
touched yet.
Yeah, you give me a call, Bill, after the show.
What are you working on, Jason?
Working on these John Deere tractors, strapping them down to the flat car.
All right, rubber band them. That's realistic.
No.
No. Oh man, working with little chains like that, I give you guys a lot of credit. I haven't started that yet, but it's fun and it makes your model look just super realistic.
Yep.
And but man, it's tiny.
Yeah. That's why I'm wearing. Oh. Here, let me switch to my other camera. These here.
Nice to walk like that at nighttime.
Yeah.
They get you for like what, Terminator 6? I forgot how many movies they're on now.
I don't remember. Don't remember how many Terminators there was.
Or you look like one of the cyborgs.
Yep.
I don't know. I did order my very first F units that are DCC and sound. I purchased the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy F3s from Walthers, and they're really nice. Can't run them right now, but yeah,
Yep.
I like them. They have the Mars light. Ooh, they're pretty. And I wasn't sure how I was really going to really enjoy the transition era because my whole life I've modeled and collected 1990s almost to the present time, but 1990s up to the early 2000s. And um, but man, I'll tell you one thing: having about 20, 40-foot box cars in a staging yard that I'm building, it looks super cool. So I'm really liking it. And
Yep.
and I put my passenger cars against the box cars on the diorama, the winter scene that I'm building, and I'm liking it just more and more every day.
Yep.
But still,
Ralph said you should fire that stove up earlier.
I did, and my wife goes, "Did you?" So you never went to continue to keep it warm? Like, no, I forgot. So um, and I'm gonna. I have 3 logs in there now, so maybe by later this evening it would will get nice and warm for me to come back here and work on some projects. I mean, I figured I play Hawaiian music, and maybe that'll keep me warm, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Mm.
And it's official. I finally got my email that I'm officially an NMRA member. So pound it back for me for finally, after a few years of participating with the virtual clinics, I actually became a member. Gordy said, are you a member yet?" And Gordy Robinson is the president, for anybody who may not know that. And I said, "Not yet." He goes, "Well, you better change that." Okay. And I did. Right. And also for folks who've probably been following us and following me, I have completely took down the I had a switching point to point switching layout. Like here is part of it still. Like used to wrap around part of the room. Um, but I got rid of it and moved the switching layout. It's going to be up on the top layer, so you can see how messy it is at the moment. But I got rid of the layout and was able to place my dioramas on here. And I painted for my wife this sunset backdrop, and I don't know where else to put it. I was like, well, now I have a backdrop for the dioramas, so it works out. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there. Yes, I'm the guy who created the Southland Railroad diorama. Um, that's an Athearn model. Uh, so this is my father's Athearn blue box set, and I just added a couple of other collectibles that I have here. And once you have my I'm sorry, library of just magazines, DVDs, the works, um, every kind of all the research kind of stuff here, and and I don't know if I can see what's left of my my collectibles as far as O scale, and some pre-war stuff over here. So I actually like that a lot better now. And at the time when it had the bottom layout, I could not fit more than 1 or 2 people back here. Now I can fit about 3 people. So um, I can fit a crew of 2 people that want to do an operating session, have visitors over, and they can see inside the layout. So it works out so much better. That I'm so happy I did that. And
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be nice.
I see Randall Ellis pop in over here. How you doing, Randall?
Mr. Randall. I was on last night with a Model Is Life crew. They have their Wednesday night chats if you're a Patreon member. And I was telling them, well, I was using a soldering iron and I lost the needle. It fell on the floor somewhere, and I still can't find it. But I was telling them that one time I was on your show, Johnny, and it was like for 15 minutes I couldn't find a drill bit that fell or something, and I think the last 5 minutes of the show I found it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're having a little hard time understanding you, Randall. You're a little robotic tonight, so.
Yeah, down here.
Big disturbance in the air.
He's rehearsing for the next Terminator movie. He's going to be voicing Jason's part. I was cutting in and out last night, just hanging out with the storm and the ice. I had this amazing thought, and I'll tell everybody about it, and no one heard me except for me. So I say, well, at least myself heard it.
Yeah.
You know, you're lonely when you start talking to yourself a lot.
It is.
I was going to bring my Great Dane in with me, but it's still too cold for her. And she's like, nah, it's warm at the other place.
Yeah.
She's probably looking for me, but she's like, I'm not stepping out there. I'm way smarter than this guy. Apple barrel. Ooh. I actually weathered my first steam engine. I had this old Southern Pacific from International IHC. Was that International Hobby Company? Something like that? I forget. I was just practicing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm trying to make this. I mean, it doesn't run anymore. So I figured use it for a scrap pile or something, event somewhere, or on a deadline. Since I'm modeling the 50s, that's towards the end of the steam era.
Yeah.
But quite hard to see. But just working with different kind of techniques on how to weather steam engines. It's honestly, I couldn't find any prototype photos of this anywhere. I thought I had a magazine article somewhere about it, but of course it was black and white. So
Yeah.
that would not have worked. And so I tried to base off a few steam engines. But I have a gentleman who he models the Pennsylvania Railroad. He had to collect dozens. He has about, I don't know, 6 to 8 books just on the Pennsylvania Railroad steam engines and rolling stock, just to see how the things were weathered, or how they look rather, for weathering. And I mean, I think these are Atlantic style locomotives. There are a few Atlantics out there, but a lot of the photos are black and white. So it was interesting trying to find a actual photo.
Ralph said shades of gray.
Just okay. And that's great, because if you use too much black, then it doesn't even look realistic at all, or prototypical. And then we use certain browns, it makes it look like it's completely rusted, and it's not. Now there's certain steam engines that have a little bit of browns on them, but they are 99%. It's all different kinds of shades of gray.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that advice, Mr. Ralph.
Bill said use it on a dead end track as abandoned. It will add character to the layout.
Very true. That's a good idea. I do have an old branch line that I'm modeling, so that will work, and no need to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's okay, Randall. He says, sorry, my signal is just too unstable. Ralph said put a junkyard at the end of that branch line.
I may have a spot for it now that I'm looking at the layout. That's what I'm doing. I look like I'm wandering around, but there's a corner that may be pretty bare. I think that's a good idea. May put it there. I'll pop in one night that I have a night off and be like, guess what? There's an abandoned line on the layout. Yep. I think I have a spot right there in the corner. That'd be a good idea. Next, look at these wheels. Because I have paint left.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're about to hit the 1 hour mark here, and Bill had posted a little earlier in the chat that February the 9th, 9 p.m., we'll have the track planner for part 2. So you don't want to miss that. And just let everybody know again, Andy Manusco passed away 1st of February. That's what, 2 days ago? Yeah. 2 days ago. We'll miss him. He's a good modeler. He's one that built the that 20-foot long viaduct bridge, the Lackawanna, Erie Lackawanna viaduct bridge. So
Yeah, he has special talent on his own.
yeah. Yeah, I was glad I saw that bridge at the show. It was something to see. All right. With that said, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming in tonight, all those in the chat. And Jason, Joey, appreciate y'all coming on. Randall, sorry about the
Yes.
unstable signal, but hey, that happens. Bill said, don't forget to mention that we are the #1 mile railroading show in the world. Yeah.
It all started with MRL.
Yeah. So everyone have a good night. Don't forget February the 9th. It's going to be the track planner at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we shall see y'all later. Everyone have a good one. And let me see if I can switch this thing here. All right, see y'all later.